Hey friend, welcome. I'm Jen. I'm a part-time online clothing reseller, which means I go to thrift stores, I buy used clothing, and I sell it online, mostly on eBay, all on eBay today, for hopefully a profit. Today I have 8 items going out for a gross sales amount of $202.64. Today is December 13th, I think. It's Wednesday morning. This is 2 days worth of sales. It's not great. Usually I ship every day, and I only had a few sales yesterday morning, and my son hadn't slept well the night before, which means I hadn't slept well the night before. And so I chose to sleep a little bit longer instead of get up and do my shipping. I do have my shipping set to 2 days of handling time so that I can do that. I'm curious. We can talk a little bit later. Let's start here. This is a Suv Engraver. This is a vintage sweater, and it has cactuses and boots and all sorts of fun stuff on there. It's different. I find from my personal experience that things that are a little different, a little out of the ordinary, sell well. So I'm not really sure why that is, but I like it because I like to find things that are a little bit different, a little out of the ordinary. So it makes it fun. I like to share average sale price and sell-through rate with you. When I looked up just vintage cardigan sweaters, they have an average sale price of $36.90 and a sell-through rate of 17%. I add Western to that search, and it switches to a sell-through rate of 23% and an average sell price of $64.44. I think that might be more, we need to find more of these, more the style, like more like a Western style. I don't know. I didn't look through too many of the folds to see what was selling to make that average sale price so high. I'm not sure. I usually start my vintage sweaters at $30. I think I priced this one a little bit higher because it was different, but not too much higher because it did have some like cracking on some of those like little graphic things. I am shipping it in a padded flat rate. I like padded flat rates. And let's see, mine sold for $39.53 on eBay. All of this sold on eBay. I had no Poshmark sales in 2 days. I'm not sure why. I listed like 200 items on Poshmark. You would think that something would have, anyway. When I say what it sold for on eBay, it's the item, how much it costs per item plus the shipping. So then I subtract the cost of shipping that I pay plus the fees and then my cost of goods. And that gives me my profit, which is $18.82. I bought this about a month ago at a church sale where my average cost of goods was like $1.69. All right, more black. That's never ideal. All right, this is a brand called Toscano. I'm pretty sure it's vintage. It looks vintage to me. This is pretty like faded, but it does have a really neat like basket weave kind of chevron-y, I don't know, kind of texture in it, and it is made in Italy. It's not like silk. It's not even 100% cotton. It's cotton and rayon. I think that I should not have bought this, quite honestly. It doesn't, I think that I have in my head that like things made in Italy are good. That's not always the case. I bought this 7 months ago at the Bins, which is the Goodwill outlet where you buy things by the pound. So my average cost of goods was $1.76 when I went that time. And I looked up polo. What did I look up? I think just long sleeve polo made in Italy. And that in general is really good. It had a $60.78 average sale price and a 21% sell-through rate. But that was like a lot of high-end stuff. There's a lot of like Polo, Ralph Lauren, a lot of like designer brands. This was not it. This sold for $16.12. Again, it's what the buyer paid for the item plus the shipping. So not high. My profit's $5.04. This was definitely something that I made a mistake on. Should not have bought. I did it anyway. This is a little Christmas time poly mailer that I bought a couple summers ago for really cheap on Amazon. I also wrap everything in tissue paper and add a little thank you sticker. And all that stuff I just buy on Amazon. I find the cheapest one. Done. I don't like to spend too terribly much money on supplies because that, you know, the items that when I'm telling you the profit, I'm not exactly sure of the verbiage or the, you know, the words that you're supposed to use, but I think it's gross profit because I still have, you know, my shipping supplies and my store fees and any, you know, apps that I use. This is a Under Armour, there's the little Under Armour mock shirt. This actually has a really good sell-through rate. So I just searched Under Armour pullover mock because that mock turtleneck, for me, it sells really well. I don't know. They don't sell for a lot of money. So don't spend a lot of money on them. Or I don't spend a lot of money on them. The average sale price is $17.36 and the sell-through rate is 67%. That's insane to me. So high. I don't find much over like 50%. So when it gets over 50%, I get a little excited. Even if the average sale price is low, I can usually find these at the bins or my favorite thrift store, which my cost of goods is pretty low there. This was actually given to me by a friend. I have a couple things today that were given to me, and I think that that's important. You know, there's a lot of people are willing to help you. if they know what you do and they know that you're reselling. My mom sends me stuff, my sister sends me stuff, my stepmom sends me stuff. I have a neighbor that gives me stuff regularly. I've had people give me like mountains of things. And then, you know, recently a couple of friends have just said, hey, I'm dropping this stuff off at Goodwill. Do you want to go through it first? Yeah, I would love to. So I pulled this out. Did I tell you what it sold for? I don't think I did. It sold for $15.75 and I paid $0 for it. So my profit is $8.29. That's pretty good. This was also given to me by my stepmom. This is probably not going to come across very well, but this is a little cardigan, open cardigan. It's like sweatshirt material kind of. From Saturday Sunday, which is an Anthropologie brand. This is not something I find in my area at all, ever. I shouldn't say that. I do have one other Saturday Sunday branded something in my eBay store, but it also might have come from my stepmom. So I'm not sure. Saturday Sunday overall, just as a brand, only has a 10% sell-through rate. So it's not like, I know for me, for a long time, I was like, oh, anything Anthropologie, that's exciting. But that's not really the case. And Saturday, Sunday cardigans have a 7% sell-through rate. So that's even worse. And an average sale price of $19.26. This sold for $24.86. Took 9 months to sell. I got it for free, like I said, from my stepmom. So my profit is $15.14. So what I wanted to ask you about, if you're a reseller, or if you're not and you have an opinion as maybe a buyer. I told you I have my handling time set to 2 days, and I've done that in the past because I couldn't go to the post office every day, and I wasn't shipping every day. And now I think pretty consistently for a year I've been shipping every day. But I still have it set to 2 days, and it's a lot of it because stuff comes up, or like when I lose stuff, it gives me time to go through my bins and find things. But I'm just curious if you think I know that one of the things that in order to be a top rated plus seller on eBay, you have to have 1 day shipping time and free returns. And I'm curious, I'm thinking about playing with that a little bit starting in January and trying free returns. I do just buyer paid returns right now. And for the most part, that seems to be okay. But I'm just kind of curious if you have, kind of messed with that at all, experimented with it. If you are a top rated plus seller, do you find that affects your sales more than being just a top rated seller? I got interrupted, so I'm not exactly sure where I was, but I'm just curious if you think that, being top rated plus versus just a top rated seller on eBay, if that affects your sales very much. I don't know. As a buyer, is that something that you look for? For me, I just kind of look at feedback, and honestly, I take a pretty close look at feedback if it's anything under 100 now that I've been selling, because I know that sometimes that can be like a one-off, if it's not perfect. Anyway, I need to show you this before I pack it up. All right, this is Zaya. So there's a little moon there. Zaya Activewear apparently is like an MLM brand, which I never advocate for, but that's another subject entirely. But sometimes those MLM companies, their items sell pretty good on the resale market. So this is a sports bra. I will say Zaya sports bras have a 15% sell-through rate and an average sale price of $16.63. I've had a couple Zaya sports bras that have sold really well. This one didn't. And this one I think is more accurate to what the sell-through rate is telling me. So I don't know if maybe certain styles in the brand sell better or not. I just don't know enough about it. I've only had like 3 sports bras total. So this sold for $20.65 to a repeat buyer, which I think is really fun. It did take 8 months to sell. I spent $1 on it and the profit's $11.05. I'm just curious, like if being top rated plus is going to have an effect on my sales or not. It's hard to it's hard to judge like month to month because things just are different month to month. This is a little corduroy skirt with this little, it's not really little, just embroidery on it. It's the brand Loft and Taylor Loft, which is not really anything very exciting. And this skirt isn't really anything very exciting either. Loft corduroy skirts have a sell-through rate, hold on please, of 17% and an average sale price of $10.96. So don't rush out and grab all the Loft corduroy skirts. I sold mine for $14.30. Big big bucks here today. I bought this at my favorite thrift store. I am not really sure why, but I have my cost of goods as 0. Sometimes I do that if it had a stain and I had to soak it, and then I got the stain out. My profit's $6.65, and I've had this for 9 months. So, you know, I never want to come at this like, this is what you should do. Certainly not. I make mistakes all the time. I've been doing this for about 2 years, so I feel like I have a pretty good foundation, but at the same time, I'm constantly learning. Over the past couple days, people have told me things about brands and just different things in the comments, and that's been really fun to hear and learn. It's part of the reason I like this, and it keeps it interesting, is that I'm constantly coming across different brands, new styles, just it changes, which is fun for me. This is a vintage vest that is like a tapestry. It's like a jacquard kind of material. It's very textured. This is the brand Karen Scott. Oh, Karen Scott 2. I don't know if that 2 has anything to do with anything, but I just thought this was really unique and fun. I did see that vintage tapestry vests have a 17% sell-through rate and an average sell price of $21.67. Mine sold for $33.57. And I can't do 2 things at once. I've only had this for about 6 weeks. I bought it at a local thrift store for about $5. So my profit on it is $16.29. Sometimes we were talking a couple days ago about cost of goods, and right here I think is a good example. Like, those things that I got for free, or that, I got at my favorite thrift store for very cheap, or the bins. Not very good profit on it. But it's a little bit better profit here when I'm spending $5 on an item. So I think that's something to take into account. I told you all that information. I did. The last item is the same way. I spent a little more. Not a little more. After I show this in here. All right, so this is so beautiful, so soft. This is a cardigan, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it because of my lighting. Oh, I got some pilling I need to take off. Anyway, it has kind of like a blue, tan, cream, like speckled kind of in there. It's like, I don't know, like they used a variegated, I'm not really sure what the word is. Sorry, I was getting a phone call. And yeah, anyway, this is Brooks Brothers, which is a pretty good brand. I wonder, I don't think it's made of anything super special. Oh, you know what? I have no idea what it's made of. These are like completely faded. It's like nothing was even written on there. That's weird. That's so funny. Interesting. Anyway, Brooks Brothers cardigans, women's cardigans, have a 30% sell-through rate and a $29.34 average sale price. So much better. $37.86 is what mine sold for, and I bought it 2 months ago at a Goodwill for $5. My profit's $18.86, so that's pretty good. Overall, my profit for 2 days, remember, is $100.95. My goal is $76. Sorry, said that wrong. $67 daily to make a 2,000 monthly goal. for profit to help my family and to reinvest into my business and to save for taxes, which is coming up. Oh boy. So I was $34 off my goal, but you know, when I shipped on Monday, I had, you know, enough in profit that covered like 3 days versus 2. So, you know, it's kind of up and down, that's for sure, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to sweater shake this and get it packed up and put this all on my porch for my postal carrier to pick up. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate you joining me. And I feel like I'm so discombobulated right now. Yeah, I really appreciate you joining me. Thanks so much. I'll see you soon.